Solom and Baruq family. Welcome to Shamara, Watchwoman on the Wall. Thank you for joining me today. It's me, your sister Raya, back again with a presentation for those looking for um, information on these last days, ways that we can survive in these last days. Alternative living, Bible prophecy. So we'll be going over all those things today as well. Um, I pray that you and your family are doing well. And I want to first say all praises to the Most High Yahuwah. Glory to our Hamashiach, Yahusha, our King. Thank you, Abba, for another day. Thank you, Abba. Thank you, Abba, for letting us see another day. All praises. I give you all praises, honor, and glory. Only you deserve the worship, Abba. Only you. I worship you and only you, Abba. I give you all the honor and worship and praise, Abba, for you are worthy. You're the creator of all things, great and small. You're my creator, Abba, and I love you and I thank you, Abba, for creating me, for choosing me, Abba, to know you, Abba Yah. All praises to the Most High. Thank you, Abba. Guide my steps and guide me through this presentation. And I pray that it's edifying to our people in all four corners of the earth, your chosen people, Abba, your royal family, the Hebrews, the African Hebrews in particular that we're going to be talking about today, Abba. So be it, all praises to the Most High. Um, what I'm about to share with you, family, is going to be practical, sensible information that will help, I pray, will be edifying for you and your family. So, first, I want to update update everybody on the reparations for African Hebrew, whose ancestors came over on the transatlantic slave trade. I want to touch on some. Also, I'm going to touch on some Bible prophecy news. I know everybody's very busy, so I want to keep this under an hour, but I'm going to be honest with you, it's probably going to go over an hour. But I want you to get your pen and your pads out and take some notes. Of course, you can always go back through this presentation and jot some stuff down for future reference. Okay, so let's get started. All praise to the Most High Yahuwah and glory to our Hamashiach Yahusha, our King. Let's go. Okay, so this is the table of contents. Basically, we're going to go over like I said earlier, the Ghana Reparations Forum that's happening June 17th through the 19th, which is our Independence Day here in the Americas. And of course, they're going to be discussing that, which is profound because they're going to end it on the day that we got our independence. They call it Juneteenth. We're also going to go over African Union's leadership on reparations, how they are bringing all the nations together to give us our reparations, those that came over in the transatlantic slave trade. Also, the Agenda 2030 that they're preparing for to come against the African Hebrews. So we want to touch on that a little bit. We're also going to go over self-sustaining strategies on how we can survive in these last days and how to be prepared, like Moses and like Joseph. We need to be prepared. The Most High prepares his people, so we want to get prepared for that. Also, I'm going to give some guidance on information and, of course, some links on mass exodus and starting over. I'm going to also be giving you some information on off-grid living for those staying in Babylon. So hopefully that will I'll give you some good information and we'll have some good clarity on how to navigate through these times. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me, and all praises to the Most High. Let's get started. Okay, so they are going to be having some high level consultative conferences on the next steps to this landmark UN resolution on the trafficking of enslaved Africans. There's going to be a 3 days of deliberation, declaration, and deliverables, which are speeches from a very, very high level people in government across all the nations across the world. So it's going to be pretty interesting stuff. They're going to be going over what they aim to achieve and who's going to pay and how much they're going to pay each country. This includes the Arab states as well. None of them sustained. None of them sustained. Okay, so June 17th through the 19th, like I said, it's going to be ending on the Juneteenth, which is the day that we were emancipated over here in the United States. Um, the June 17th, they're going to go over. You have to be invited, okay? So the platform is for in-depth reflection on resolution implications for the African Hebrews and the people, their descendants across the regions, and their generations after the slave trade, which are their descendants. Um, so you can pause this and go through what each day they're going to do, what the high level meetings and forums will be about. Who will attend? Okay, so there are going to be 80 countries represented in this 3-day dialogue, 123 nations that did approve or voted for the resolution ARES 8250. For those that said their ancestors came over in the transatlantic slave trade, these you will be represented in this 3-day event. There will be heads of state invited, head members of state from the African Union, the CARICOM. Shout out to CARICOM. Of course, they are one of the ones spearheading. They are, man, CARICOM. Shout out to CARICOM. I'm just learning more and more about how they have been just involved in this whole thing. Of course, a lot of our people went into the Caribbean, and so they're going to be very, very vocal and very, very involved in this situation and getting our reparations. Also, the United Nations representatives will be there, African Union representatives will be there, UNESCO, UNDP, of course, CELAC, and CARICOM Reparations Commission. Did you know CARICOM have a reparations commission? Do FBA have a reparations commission? I didn't think so. Anyway, legislative and civil society, which is the American version of CARICOM representatives, which we know they just need to sit down. They've had their chance to do what they're supposed to do. But anyway, the Congressional Black Caucus will be there, NAACP will be there, civil society organizations, activists, and diaspora representatives. Of course, we won't be representative because the Most High is our representative. Experts and academics, like academic scholars, legal experts, There are going to be high-level lawyers there. They're going to do this legally. This won't be, they're going to take our money. They can't take our money. It's going to all be legal. Anyway, like I said earlier, I'm going to be giving you the link to this event in the description box. The journey to reparative justice is our journey home. And this is the name of my album. Is this a coincidence? This just so happened to be, I named my album 3 years ago because I've been working on this album for 3 years, writing and everything, and, praying and fasting for the Most High to guide me. Just so happens they are having the journey to reparative justice. Is this a coincidence? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. All praises to the Most High Yahuwah and glory to Hamashiach, our King. Our journey home is the name of my album. Okay, so the African Union leaders on reparations for the descendants of the transatlantic slave trade. So, like I said earlier, this forum and this 3-day event is for the resolution that they passed in the UN back in March. So this is going to be for the ones that know and that can trace their lineage to the transatlantic slave trade. If your ancestors were already in America, this will not be your forum. You might, but I do want you to listen and follow along with what's going on, because once you do get your coalition together, you might want to take notes on how to go about it. So also the African Union leaders reparations for transatlantic slave centers on uniting African nations and diaspora communities to advocate for justice, policy changes, and international recognition of reparation claims. The AU has taken several key steps: policy advocacy, organizations and forums, summits, coalition building. I mean, they have been on it for at least the past 25 years. Legal and diplomatic efforts, they're doing this legally. This is going to all be legal above board. Of course, our petition is in heaven, so the Most High is going to use these nations to bring about getting our reparations, because we're going to leave with great substance. We're not going to leave empty-handed. We're not going to go. Our walls will be built up for us, just like the scripture said. All that they're going to hold us on the kings of these countries are going to hold us up on their shoulders. Okay, this is going to happen. This is all prophetic scriptures. Anyway, the impact, the African Union's leadership has elevated the reparations movement, making it a central issue in African and diaspora politics. Their efforts aim to achieve justice, healing, and tangible benefits for descendants of the transatlantic slave trade. So this is going to also, I'm going to leave the, like I said, I'm going to leave the link to the independent, this independent forum, what they're doing. I'm going to leave that for you. But I want to read this African proverb, so-called African proverb. Until the lions have their own historians, the history of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. So we're going to take back. We're taking it back, okay? I just released a song called Taking It Back. We're taking back our kingdom. We're taking it back. Okay, Day of Remembrance. I'll leave the link to this commemoration and remembrance speech on behalf of millions of our brothers and sisters that were taken, slaved, and perished and afflicted for 400 years due to the transatlantic slave trade. Also noted in Genesis 15:13. Of course, the U.S. expressed opposition to the resolution regarding reparations for historical wrongs related to slavery. But you can also see this speech on PBS United Nations. The Day of Remembrance, only the African Union has done this. You can listen to this speech given to the UN with the link I'm going to leave you in the description box. Okay? But I did ask Google and AI, has the U.S. ever, in the past 100 years, given a speech to the UN marking a day of remembrance for our people being taken in the transatlantic slave trade? And of course the answer was no. The United States has not ever given a speech at the UN specifically for the remembrance of Africans taken in the transatlantic slave trade in the past 100 years. Okay? They've opposed it, but they haven't ever given a day of remembrance. Actually, nobody has. No other country that participated in this horrific, traumatic event over, the centuries that they've done this, nobody has ever given us a day of remembrance for our ancestors that suffered through this horrific atrocity. Nobody has ever. They've done it for others, but never for us. So shout out to the African Union. Shout out to the African Union for doing this. Okay. Land of Judah, aka Negro land. And you can ignore this map and ignore this information, but we all know it's there. We all know that it's the kingdom of Judah. We all know that Ghana, now they call Ghana, is Negro land, the kingdom of Judah. Okay, so in Jeremiah 29 and 23, because they have committed villainy in Yashar'al and have committed adultery with their neighbors' wives and have spoken lying words in my name, which I have not commanded them, even I, even it says, even I know and am witness, says the Most High Yahuwah. So the Most High know those that are denying that we were taken, that are denying that the slave trade happened, that are denying that our people lived in this land, that we are the Hebrews. For those in our family and without our family that are denying this information, shame on you. But the Most High says, I'm witnessing the whole thing. The Most High sees you, and He sees what you're doing. Okay? It says, although our ancestors were doing abominable things against the Most High, He still told them He would redeem them. So, as we see even now, while we are in captivity, our people are doing the very same thing they were doing then. The serpent seed, they have agents that they have dispersed through our people. And so they deny all of this, even though the maps and, of course, a lot of the history books that they tried to hide are telling us now in these last days that these were our lands. They knew exactly who they were coming to get. So that's why we must cry out daily for Yah to forgive us and save us. This is what Yahuwah says to His people, to cry out to me. He hears our cries. But in Jeremiah 29 and 14, it says, and I will be found of you, says Yahuwah, and I will return. I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places where I have driven you. Driven you, says the Most High Yah, and I will bring you again. I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away, far away, captive. So, this is a promise from the Most High when He says He's going to gather us. That is 1,000% bet He's going to do what He says He's going to do. He means what He says. But don't be mad at me. Be mad at Him if you dare. Okay. Also, I want to go over this map here. That it's like 17. This map is like the 1400 map. I don't know what year. This is an old one. This map is old. But it says the Gulf of Judah, which so happens to be now called, they call it Angola, but it's located in Angola. This is where a vast majority of slaves were taken into Brazil and the Caribbean in the transatlantic slave trade. This is why CARICOM is so heavily involved in the reparation process. Do you think they'd be going about all this stuff if this thing didn't happen? Do you think they'd be going through all of this if this transatlantic slave trade didn't happen? Do you think they would want to cough up all the reparations they got to cough up if this thing didn't happen? Anyway, CARICOM, once again, shout out. They are heavily involved in the reparations process. They know who they are. The problem is a lot of our people will miss their great substance or miss their inheritance because they have admitted in public that they were not slaves, that their ancestors were not slaves. If you read in John 8:33, there was some Shemite Hebrews or Jews. They weren't Hebrews, they were Jews speaking to our Messiah, and they answered him, this is the Most High listening to this. They told Yahusha, they said in John 8:33 through 37, they answered Yahusha, we be Abraham's seed and were never in slavery or bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? Yahusha answered them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. In 35 it says, and the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth forever. In other words, you're not going to be in the kingdom denying your birthright and denying the Messiah and denying these things. So it says, if the Son therefore shall make you free, you shall be made free indeed. I know, this is what the Messiah told him, I know that you're the Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word hath no place in you. You know, in these last days, not only will there be falling away, but there will be those that will deny our Savior. They're going to deny, they don't want their birthright, just like Esau didn't want his birthright. They will teach strange doctrines, and denying the birthright means that you won't get your grape substance. You won't get it. I believe we can see that all happening right now. We can see it happening on a daily basis. People denying their birthright, denying the Messiah. Anyway, as you all, some of you may know this and some of you may not know this, but I have another channel called the Hebrew History Channel. I have a future presentation I'm working on. It's very, very tedious. But be sure to check out other presentations that I have on Hebrew History Channel on YouTube. I have future presentations I'm working on. These historical presentations are tedious and take a lot of time to research due to that fact, because a lot of this I'm doing on my own. I don't have a team of people helping me, but also a lot of these historical information and documents are in other languages. So it's just me researching these, so I'm having to, like, dissect and go through and get, and find these gems that they have hidden in other languages. So I don't have a team of scholars helping me, so it's just me. But I'll give you a taste of what I'm working on. This information that I'm working on proves that Psalm 83 knew exactly who they were enslaving, and they did it anyway. This is the foundation of our case for reparations. They can't deny it anymore. The gig is up. So there's a writer. His name is Benjamin of Tudela. He mentions identifiable Hebrew communities in Moroccan coast and in parts of West Africa, and lists practices such as circumcision, observance of certain festivals, our feast days, and endogamy, which means marrying only within one's own race, and that's in Deuteronomy 7:3. Ibn Battuta, and I know I'm murdering these names, but Battuta, he's also a Muslim writer. He reports on dietary restrictions, purity rituals, practices, and circumcisions among most of the West African groups. He sometimes links these to Mosaic law. Leo Africanus, I know some of you are familiar with him, describes rites, marriages, rules, and dietary taboos among West African people, and explicitly compares a few of these biblical Hebrew customs, like circumcision, and particularly food rules, are noted. Also, Al-Idrisi and Ibn Sa'id provides geographic, ethnographic notes that sometimes specify mourning rites, burial practices, and ritual prohibitions that travelers equated with Israelite practices. Al-Makrizi compiles reports mentioning circumcision, Sabbath-like rest days, and certain legal customs resembling biblical law. Durante Pacheco Pereira and other Portuguese chronicles notes they observe practices such as ritual bathing, dress codes, and dietary taboos, which they liken to Israelite observations or observances. Yeah, you might want to freeze this. Al-Idrisi, he was a 12th century writer. 13th century writer. Of course, this stuff is all in Arabic, so I had to take this out of Arabic and put it into English, and so translate it into English. And so a lot of this is hidden in their writings of the 12th, 13th, 14th, and 16th century. It's there. The, the information is there. Okay, it's there. It is there. We are from West Africa. We are Hebrews. Okay, yes. Shem and Ham sold slaves. Yes, they sold slaves too. So in Psalms 83, 1 through 8, you did have some Shemites, which are Abrahamic seed. Shem is not all Judah or Israel or Yashar'al. Uh, Abraham had a lot of children, including, um, those in the Arabic family, which is from Ishmael's line. So yes, you have some Shem and Ham that sold slaves. So you can read the story. I was looking through just documents, and it was a BBC news article. The Igbo Hebrew described how his great grandfather was a businessman and he sold Hebrews into the transatlantic slave trade. And this is why Africa is so involved, because they are making amends. They know they were involved in the slave trade, okay? They're giving reparations too, okay? They are. They're giving reparations in free land, citizenship, our resources back. We want our stuff back. We want our resources back. We want our citizenship back. We want our land back. So, have we received any of this from any other nations? No. And it's time for all of them to pay up. All praise to the Most High Yahuwah, and glory to Hamashiach Yahusha, our King. Now, I'm going to link this in the description box, this story. Okay, so the transatlantic slave trade routes, as we know, all are guilty in this, including the Arabs, which are Ishmaelites and Hagarenes. They were involved in the Psalm 83. You have a lot of Shemites and Hamites that were involved, so all are guilty. And if they weren't, directly involved, those that stood by and watched, that said nothing and did nothing, they're guilty as well. Okay? Now, I don't know if a lot of you know this, but 1.6 million of our people went into Brazil, South America, and into the Caribbean islands. So this is why CARICOM is so involved, heavily involved in the reparations process. They know what happened to our people, and it's in their history books, it's in their oral history. They have claims to back up everything that happened in the transatlantic slave trade. They know where we came from. They know the names of the ships. They know it all. They have, just because we don't have it in America don't mean it's not somewhere in the books. But sometimes you got to get up from behind your computer and go down to these islands, go down to South America, go down into Brazil, to where our people were taken. They'll tell you exactly where they came from and who they are. They still have the customs. They have very strong Hebraic customs, music, culture. They kept it. They weren't tainted like we were. They kept a lot of the traditions from the Bible, from our laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of prophecy information. Those that are prophecy watchers like I am. Agenda 2030, you might want to do some research on that, is relevant for African Hebrews and the diaspora, because this agenda will cause you to flee. You might want to read up on this agenda. I'll go over sensible, affordable roadmap for self-sustaining practices, community empowerment, and I will cover key tools and websites and information in this presentation for those of us who will stay in Babylon and endure to the end. And for those that plan on relocating abroad, I have information I want to give you as well. All praise to the Most High Yahuwah, and glory to Hamashiach Yahusha, our King. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to our brothers over at TEOTW. Brother Jacob and Brother Tayu go to an extensive teaching or information on Agenda 30. I'm going to give his YouTube link in the description box. But yeah, it's pretty deep. I recommend that you watch that. Um, Brother Jacob goes over Project 2030 extensively. So it's some interesting information that he gives, but it's not to scare you, but it's to prepare you. Shout out to you guys over at TEOTW. I know I push them a lot, but I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but they've been a watchman on the wall for a long time. I know at least since 2017. That's how long I've been watching them. But they've been persistent or consistent, and they've been spot on a lot of their stuff. So you might want to check them out. I'll leave their link on the description. Shout out to the brothers over at TEOTW. I want you to look at something right now on my picture in the background there. Can you guys see the arena the wrestling, so-called wrestling arena that they're building in front of the YTHOUSC? Looks like a Stargate, doesn't it? Do you remember somebody said they were JC and they had a picture of something coming out through some kind of portal in the top of the picture? Do y'all remember that? Is this what they're waiting to come through there? Is that what they're waiting for? Looks like a Stargate. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, so I'm working on a project right now. It's called Fairhaven Goshen Development. Um, I'm going to read this scripture to you because I think it's for those that are sitting on the fence and don't know what to do. Suppose one, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? And also in Proverbs 6 through 8, it says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer, no camp leader, no ruler, yet it stores its provision in summer and gathers its food at harvest." Also in Matthew 25, it says, "Therefore keep watch. You don't know the day or the hour the bridegroom comes." And that's the parable from the ten virgins. That 10 had their lamps lit, and 5 had their lamps lit, and 5 did not. 5 stay ready. My song I just released. 5 were ready, 5 weren't. Okay, Proverbs, also in Proverbs 21 and 20, it says, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down." We need to get prepared, y'all. 1 Peter 5 and 8, "Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour." Okay? He's looking. So we need to stay sober. We need to stay watchful. Don't get distracted with nonsense that's going on around, getting involved in other people's business. Stay focused and prepare. This is not the time to be just being in a bunch of folly. Um, we are to be prepared. The Most High always had his people prepared. His chosen ones were always prepared. So anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about my project here. It's called the Fairhaven Goshen Development, and how I got the name. Well, of course, you know where Goshen came from, but Fairhaven came from the scriptures in Acts 27 and 8. It says, "We struggled along the coast with great difficulty and finally arrived at Fair Havens near the town of Lassie." So we're going to be in some difficult times. We're going to be struggling to get by. We need to have a plan B. We need to have a plan B. Okay. So the picture you see in the background, the blueprint, is of my community homestead development that I'm working on in the beginning stages. My husband is an architect and a home builder, so I explained to him what I wanted for a sustainable community, and he put the plan together for me, and then I run it through AI, and this is the plan we came up with. It houses 6 to 8 families. Although they're together, they're also separate. But if you want a copy of the plans, just email me. I'll send you a copy of the blueprints free. I'm not gonna charge you. The Most High gave me the idea free, and He gave it to me freely. I will never charge for something that the Most High gives to me free. Um, you first, of course, just to go over a little bit of what you need to do is you first got to find you at least 25 acres. That's gonna house the 6 to 8 families for this blueprint. Now you can downsize it to 2 to 4 families. But I think in these last days we need to be very, very close with our family, and the more family members, the better. It's safety in numbers. So I would say, let me know if you want a free copy of the plans. No cost to you. It's going to be free, and I'll be happy to send it to you. But we need to have a plan B location. If you decide that you are going to stay in the city, you should at least have a plan B location. And for those that said, I can't, I don't know, I'm going to give you information on how to go about doing this with little to no money. Okay, so the homesteading checklist. If you are staying in Babylon, let's go over some ways to protect your family and you, okay? Location, location, location. I would advise to live outside the city limits, but if you decide you're going to stick it out in the city, at least have a plan B to vacate, a plan B location to vacate out of the city so you can hunker down once the SHTF, okay? Remember, faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. That's James 2 and 26. So we're going to go over how to locate a city or how to locate places that are safe. I'm going to give you a link to a YouTube channel that's called the top 10 cities where Black Americans feel safer. The crime is low, it's budget friendly, and I'm going to also give you towns and areas that you can have a Plan B vacate spot where everybody can gather to for safety. So you need to look for affordable land, low population density that support homesteading. Okay, places like the Midwest, Appalachia, the Pacific Northwest, or the South. But check your zoning and building codes. Ensure the land allows off-grid living and farming and alternative building methods. Also, access to resources like water. So you want land. You want land that has a source of water source like wells, streams, fertile soil, and good sunlight for gardening and solar power. And you want a community, so seek out existing homesteaders that are already off-grid communities. Shoot them an email, get some information, write down some information on how they did it. They may be able to give you some tips or what they did wrong that they wish they would have done, and they can help you with what you're trying to do. Also, when you do get a real estate agent, it doesn't cost you anything to get a real estate agent. They're free. Until you buy something, you don't have to worry about paying them. And when you do close on your property, you still don't pay them. The seller usually pays them. If you request, the seller will pay your closing costs. The seller will pay whatever you need. They'll pay for it. But you have to have a good agent. An agent knows this. And you just tell them, look, I want the seller to pay for everything. The closing costs. And you may be able to even find a landowner that will owner finance you. Okay, they'll of course make sure you go through a real estate agent and go through a title company, so so you'll know that the title is clean. There's no clouds on the title, and everything's yours free and clear. Okay, so you want to make plans for the infrastructure. Consider the road access, distance to supplies, and emergency services. A financial plan. And I'm going to give you some tips on financial planning. It's going to take a little money to do this, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So don't say you can't. I'm going to give you some really good tips on how you can get your money together to do this. Quiet as it's kept, land is very, very cheap. The further you go out, the cheaper it is. Okay, so you want to budget for land, purchase, development, and ongoing costs. Of course, legal consideration. You might want to make sure your property understand the property taxes and water rights and any restrictions, and that is something that a real estate agent will help you with. Or you can do the research free online before you even get a real estate agent. You can gather all this information yourself, and like I said, contact other people that are doing it. They can give you some good tips. So this is a really good YouTube channel right here across the United States. You might want to check them out. I'll leave the description there in the box, the link to the box in the box, and give you some really good tips on how to find a place. Okay, but do your due diligence, do your own due diligence. I've seen stories where people move to a spot just because they saw it on the video. I can't stress this enough. Take a weekend and drive there and lay your eyes on the property and drive around and let Yahuwah guide you, not a person or a group or a camp to tell you that. You need to go for yourself, for real, okay? Just go and look at the land for yourself. Uh, Now, if you do decide to stay in the city, remember this. The agenda, the 2030 agenda, okay, that they're putting together, that these elite are putting together. If you're living in the city, you're going to be in what's called a 15-minute city. And that means you will not be allowed outside of the city without their permission. Okay? So just remember that. You're going to be chipped, digitally chipped. Okay? You won't be able to find any food. You won't be able to pay your bills or anything without having this chip. So keep this in mind if you plan on remaining in the city, okay? Just remember I told you. So also check out our sister over at Becoming Farm Girl. Becoming a farm girl. She lives in the city and she grows her food on a balcony. But I'll leave you her information as well. She grows an entire garden on her balcony. she's good. I like her. She's really frugal. She knows how to make things out of nothing. She's really good. She will give you some really good tips. So stop complaining that you're broke. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop saying you don't have. Okay? You can do this if you really, really want to do this. I'm going to give you some really good tips. Okay? Because nobody cares that you're broke. Nobody want to hear it. Everybody's broke. Everybody don't have. So saying you don't have something, join the club. Welcome to the club. Okay? But you can, if you really, really set your mind to something, you can do it. Now there is also I'm going to give a shout out to the Facebook community called the Black Garden Network. This is free. They give you really good tips on that Facebook community. So the Most High didn't put you in this time. He didn't put us in this time weaklings. We're not weak. We're strong. He wouldn't have put us in this time and day, in this end times, if he didn't know we can do this. Okay, so stop saying you can't. I can't. Yes, you can. Okay, get out. There are towns where you can live completely off grid. Okay, land is affordable. Pull all your resources. Sell what you don't need. A lot of people got 3, 4, 5 rooms of just furniture. Sell that stuff off. You can't possibly sit on all those couches. You can't possibly sleep in all those bedrooms. Especially you empty nesters. You got all them bedrooms full of furniture and full of bedroom sets. Sell that stuff off. Find people already doing it. Example, Set Apart Gardens is a good site on YouTube channel, Set Apart Gardens. And I believe what he did, his company, basically, they went under and they gave him a severance check. He pulled out his 401k and he bought land outside the city and they are doing the doggone thing. He didn't say, I can't. He did it. Anyway, Homestead Heart, they basically did the same thing. And many others. Go on YouTube. It's free. YouTube is free. Use it while we still can. Okay? Land for sale. Do your own research, but there is a website called landwatch.com. That's a good site, and they have legitimate real estate agents helping you on there. And you might, if it's far away, the land's far away, go to the land. Don't buy some land just online. Do not do that. Please do not do this. Go to the land and see the land before you buy it. Learn to garden and farm. Learn on your own. It's free on YouTube. This doesn't cost any money. It doesn't cost you a penny. Utilize this information while we still can. Noah was prepared. Joseph was prepared. There is nothing wrong with being prepared. If your moray, teacher, pastor, or camp leader does not have a plan B for their sheep, they're asleep. Take the initiative as head of your household. Take charge of your family and be prepared. Move in silence if you have to. Don't tell everybody what you're doing. Okay? But make a plan B now. A lot of the people that are telling you not that you can't do something, they're already doing it. They already have a place. They already have a plan B. They're already living on their land. They already have it. But they're telling you that you don't have it. Stop listening to people that are telling you not to do something and that because you can't do it. Yes, you can do it. Yes, you can. Okay. Again, stop saying you can't. Nobody cares you broke. If you have two hands, an able body, and a mouth, you can do this. Okay, so I'm going to give you some tips. I hope you have your pen and your pad ready to go over some stuff here. Okay. Some self-sustaining strategies is get back to the basics. That's self-sustaining strategies. SSS. Self-sustaining strategies. Back to the basics. Growing your own food. If you have to grow food in your house and your garage, on your balcony, start growing your own food. Start teaching yourself how to do the seeds are cheap. Dirt is free outside. You know, right now dirt is free. You can buy dirt, you can buy potting soil, but right now dirt is still free. Okay. Use YouTube for guidance while we still can. It's a very good channels. Just type in what you're looking for, and it'll bring up different channels. It's free. Utilize it. Okay. Water independence. Plan B. If you do find a Plan B property, make sure you have a well, or you can dig a well, or you have nearby water sources like a lake, pond, stream. It's very important. If you live in the city, catch your rain water off of your roof by using your oh, my mind just went blank. Gutters. You use your gutter and use a filtration system to catch the water from your roof into barrels, and you can bathe with this. You can wash clothes with it. You can wash your hair. You can cook with it. Of course, boil the water before you cook with it and before you drink it. But this is free water. It's free. Rain is free. Okay, so you can do this. Renewable energy. Solar panels, windmills, 500-gallon propane tanks, and wood burning. If you decide that you are going to find a Plan B property, you have solar panels. These are your options: solar panels, windmills, 500-gallon propane tank. Nothing under 500-gallon if you're on a compound community. You want to have a lot of propane. Propane is cheap, and you don't, and it when you use it, it doesn't go really fast. It's very, very energy sufficient. Also, make sure you have a lot of trees around in case you don't have sun. It's the winter months and you need to cook or whatever, or heat up something, or for heat, have a wood burning fireplace, or any kind of, have a lot of makeshift. If you have to make a smoker or a campfire or a grill, go on YouTube. They'll show you how to make a rocket. They're called rocket grills. You can make it with just some stones and just a grill top. You can get the grill top online for like $5-6, or go to the junkyard. Don't be too proud to go to the junkyard and get this stuff and put it together. Um, Invest in yourself. Be frugal, and learn how to do things. Learn how to make stuff. That's free. It's free to learn. Okay, you can get this stuff free online and on YouTube. Best investments. Learn a trade. Um, Learn how to barter. You can barter with things. Okay, share knowledge. Talk to people that are already doing it. Share your knowledge with your family members. Buy how-to books and DVDs. Go to the thrift store. I don't know if you like to do this, but I do. I like to do thrift stores. I like to do garage sales. I love to do yard sales. You find the coolest stuff. Okay, but keep in mind what you're looking for. Have a list of things that you're looking for to sustain. We're looking for self-sustaining strategies. We're looking for self-sustaining things. Okay, financial independence. Cooperative economics. Cooperative economics means pulling all y'all money together. You family members get together, pull all your money together. That's cooperative economics. Liquid currency, stay liquid. Microfinance means be cheap. Work on paying off debt. Go without for a while. Get serious. Okay, get serious about this. These are serious times we're living in. Health and wellness. Grow herbal medicine. Start the apothecary, which is a medicinal medicine cabinet. Preventive care. Okay, start taking care of yourself. Get lean. Start working out a little bit. Do a few laps around the house. Walk on your lunch break. Eat your sandwich while you're walking. Learn first aid online. That's free. Start a community clinic in your Plan B property. Have a small community clinic. If you have nurses or CNAs in your family, call them up, hit them up, see if they want to be a part of what you're trying to do. They're very valuable knowledge they have. Buy a book of what to do in emergencies, emergency care. Learn CPR. That's free. They have free CPR classes all the time. Just go online. I think some libraries even offer those classes. And the library's free. You can go to the library and check out books. That's free. That's free, 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 free. Of course, you can learn online for free, and Google still works. Okay? So let's just get back to the basics, okay, family? Let's get back to the basics. Check out these channels. I'm going to give you some in the description box. But of course, do your own research. There's so many things you can do. But when you approach your, I want to say this. When you do go to your family, immediate family members, I wouldn't advise you do this with strangers, having a community outside of having a Plan B community. I would suggest you have it with only family members, cousins, uncles, aunts, family members, strangers, very, very close friends. So when you approach your family about the Plan B community, gather those have skills like farming, fixing things, building, electricians, plumbers, hardworking people. Don't get Pookie and Debo that want to sit in the air conditioner all day and play video games and eat sandwiches. You don't want them. I'm just saying. I know you love them, but they're not going to be helpful when SHTF, okay? Approach family members that are even close friends that you can deal with on an everyday basis, and that they know your personality, and they know that you are Hebrew and you follow strict laws, statutes, and commandments. You don't celebrate Christmas. There won't be no Christmas trees. There won't be none of that turkeys and egg hunting. There won't be none of that going on. So let them know up front how the community is going to be. When you're being a self-sustaining community, you do not want strangers, and you want family members that know that it's going to be held to strict standards. Okay, when I say strict, I mean dietary laws. You're not going to be doing any Christmas and Halloween and Easter egg hunting. Okay, they need to know that. They don't have to participate in your feast days, but they do have to know those pagan holidays will not be in the community. Okay. And if they're not okay with that, then the Most High didn't send them to you, okay? And this is my own opinion. If you want to be with some strangers, go right ahead. You want to have Halloween and Christmas trees in your community, in your Plan B community, that's on you. I'm just saying. Will the Most High Baruch that? You got to think about that. Okay. So starting your own garden, that's free. Learning skills is free. These things are all free, okay? So I think I covered everything on that. But I'm going to give you some channels to check out. Okay, now for those that are relocating abroad, okay, we're already almost at an hour, but I'm almost there too. I'm almost at the end. Those of you that want to relocate abroad and want to leave Babylon, international relocation checklists. Okay, I'm going to give you some checklists. Get your pen and paper out. Okay, so this is what I want to say to those that just sit on the computer all day to learn stuff. Sometimes you actually have to go to these places and see for yourself. I mean, they can tell you all day long online what this place is like or these countries are like, but you might want to take just gather your duckies and try to check out the country before you decide on the country. Okay, you don't want to be learning on the fly. Okay, especially if you ain't got the money like that to do it like that. But anyway, get off the computer and get out and see the world. I'm always surprised when I see some people tell Yashar'al who is Yashar'al and who's not Yashar'al, but they ain't never left their own state. You got to get out. You got to get. Okay, so if you want to relocate to another country outside the United States, here's what you need. You need documents, hard copies, okay, and ID. Don't have something digital. Have it all hard copy. You could have digital too, but you want a hard copy. Passports, valid for 6 months and beyond your arrival. Okay, your visas, your resident permits, approved or application prepared. Have your visas ready before you leave. National ID. Make sure you have hard copies in case you lose your wallet or something. Have hard copies in another location and maybe one of your luggages. Copies of passports and visas and IDs. Digital is fine, but what if you lose your phone? Okay, you want to have hard copies, birth certificates, certified copies, marriage certificates, divorce decrees if applicable, driver's license, home country, international driving permit if needed, academic professional certificates, originals, and copies of these things like your your master's degree, your bachelor's degrees, any kind of degree you have, your nursing, nursing information. If you're a nurse or if you're a builder, have all these documents, hard copies. Vaccinations, medical records, including immunizations. If you have children, hard copies of that, prescriptions and list of medications. Have at least 3 refills and 3 months supply of your medications. If you're tell your provider you're going abroad, they'll do this for you. Okay. Power of attorney. Have your will in place. Have you a power of attorney in case something goes wrong. Have an emergency contact letter. Keep all this. Have hard copies of this stuff. Get your will made before you leave if you have assets or property. Name your beneficiary. So in case this person, somebody you trust, has to take care of things, while you're away or while you are in an emergency situation, you trust them to do the right thing. Have pet vaccination records and permits if you're bringing pets. Note, if you're driving to South America, any South American countries by RV, van, or car, pack light. Pack light. Don't have a bunch of stuff. And there are sites on YouTube on showing you how to fold your clothes. It's pretty cool stuff. Okay, so tax implications. U.S. tax obligations. Understand your ongoing tax responsibilities as a U.S. citizen living abroad, including filing requirements and deadlines. By preparing these documents and considerations, you can facilitate a smoother transition to your new country. Consult an attorney. It's free. Repeat. To consult with most attorneys and most law firms, they have a free consultation. You can also go online and you can get free tax information online. You can also go to these different websites. I'm going to give you 2 websites, greenbacktaxservices.com and taxesforexpats.com. I'm going to leave that in the description box for you. Tax records. Keep copies of prior year tax returns and any necessary financial documents. Research, research, research. Become your own advocate. Okay? There is a guy, I'm going to talk about him later, I think. Okay, let's move on. Okay, community and connectivity. Unlock your phone or buy local SIM or eSIM plans. Set up secure email and cloud backup for important documents. You can also email documents to yourself and keep in a file. That way, if you can go to your email and get those things. If you don't trust the cloud like me, I don't trust clouds. Because once it's in the cloud, it's there. I mean, you don't know who's getting that. But anyway, share itinerary and contact information with family and emergency contacts. Be sure to check with your phone provider and let them know you're traveling abroad. Tell them where you're going and find out what your rates and roaming fees will be. I went abroad recently and I thought I had the right coverage. As soon as I got to international territory, my phone dropped. Luckily, I was able to contact an affiliate that connected me to the country I was in, and I was able to contact my original provider back in the States, and they got my service back up, my husband and I's service back up. It was very expensive. That was a very expensive lesson, but I thought I had the right coverage. They told me I did, but I didn't for that particular country. Some countries don't, you have to be on their provider lines. You can't come with American or with U.S. providers. So find out this stuff before you leave. So I made a $280 mistake. Please don't do what I did. So ask a lot of questions to make sure you have the right coverage. Okay, so work and education. Arrange work permits, employer paperwork, if applicable. Enroll children in school. Gather school records and immunizations. I think we covered that. Credential evaluation recognition for professional licenses. Like if you're a licensed real estate agent, if you're a licensed professional, like a doctor or a lawyer or a nurse or even a CNA. If you have any kind of licensing, you might want to have those up to date and make sure you have a copy of your licenses. So, yeah. Okay. Safety and preparations. Emergency contact list, local emergency numbers, plus embassy consulate information. Register with your embassy and consulate. Optional, but I recommend you do it. Let them know you're there in case there is a situation where you have to evacuate for some reason. They know you're there. Okay? Learn the basic local languages, phrases, and lists and translation apps as well. I would say if you can before you leave, especially if you got a year out before you leave or you got some time, learn the local language that you decided to go to. A good second language to learn is probably French. If you plan on going to South America, I would say learn Spanish. Okay? Familiarize yourself with local laws, customs, and cultural norms. One of my daughters is going to Kenya, so she has fluently learned how to speak Swahili. She has learned how to speak Swahili. She learned just sitting in her car going back and forth to work. I am so proud of her. She learned Swahili. She's fluent in Swahili. That's pretty cool. Okay, accommodations. Research housing and utilities, temporary accommodations booked for arrival at least 1 to 2 weeks ahead of time. Long-term housing plan, research neighborhoods, rental markets, lease rental agreements reviewed and signed. If it's in another language, make sure you are understanding. Have it translated for you into English so you know what you are signing. Arrange utilities, electric, water, internet, or if you know how to set it up yourself, do that before you leave, family. Forwarding your mail. Go to your post office, make sure they stop your mail, and let them know that you are possibly moving abroad, and you'll call them to where to forward your mail. Once again, rental agreements, research housing options, and secure a rental agreement before you leave, before you move. Proof of income. Prepare documents that may be required by landlords, such as employment letters or bank statements or a bank letter. I wouldn't put on my bank. I would have my bank to write a letter stating how much I have, but don't let them know all that you have. You know, if you have 5,000 in the bank, say you got 1,300 in there. Okay. Just a little tip. You don't want to let everybody know all your business. But anyway, these are good tips to know. But anyway, research. Okay. Final task before departure. You want to pay all your outstanding bills, cancel any subscriptions as needed. Like if you have like Amazon subscriptions or any kind of movie channel subscriptions, cancel all of that. Cancel all of that stuff. You won't be you won't have time to watch TV anyway for a while. So cancel all those subscriptions. Amazon, some countries they don't even deliver, so you don't need your Amazon subscription. That's $100 something you can save. I think it's like $140 now, $150 now. I think it's $140 a year now. Anyway, settle any tax obligations at home. Don't go somewhere else and try to handle tax problems. Get all that done before you leave. Clean and prepare. Clean up and prepare your property. If you're selling your home, sell it before you leave. Get a real estate agent, get that sold before you leave. Don't try to go somewhere else abroad and try to sell your property. That will be a nightmare if you have to come back for whatever reason. Do all that stuff before you leave. If you're under a lease agreement or you have any storage, settle all that stuff before you leave. Okay? Hand over keys to your landlord, okay, and provide a forwarding address. The reason why I say this is because, and tell them not to tell anybody what your forwarding address is unless they clear it with you first. But you may have a package or something that somebody sent you, or you may have something delivered. So you want to let them know that you are moving abroad, and that you will that for them to hold it, and you'll contact them or to forward the package, okay, or forward whatever. Pack essentials for the first 1 to 2 weeks, like clothes, toiletries, documents, hard copy documents, basic kitchen items, an adapter. Find out if you need an adapter, like for your computer if you're taking, or your phone chargers. You may need an adapter. They may not have the same outlets that we have in America. So you might want to find out before you leave what type of adapter you need. But pack light. Like I said earlier, there are YouTube channels that show you how to pack. Like you can get a whole outfit into like a little small square. They are really very good at packing. So get some tips from them on YouTube. They got some really good packing tips. Okay, staying or leaving. I'm going to give you a few YouTube channels to check out, and to do your research as part of your research. The Yard Bros is a good channel. Going Farther Together is a good channel. Big Super Living in Arizona. Becoming a Farm Girl. I talked about her earlier. Homestead Heart. I think I spoke about that husband and wife team earlier too. So I have no affiliation with any of these YouTube channels. So find other channels. You can find other channels on your own that you like better. That's fine. But these are a few that I watch. I'll leave their links in the description box. Okay. So check them out. Okay. So guidance for mass exodus, starting over. Um, let's go over 8 key reasons why African Hebrews or Negroes are leaving. They're leaving Babylon. Okay, 1. Seeking greater safety and security. Pursuing economic opportunities. Reconnecting with heritage. Desire self-sufficiency. We talked about that earlier. Political and social climate is getting rough. You know the climate's getting hot. It's getting heated. Mostly every channel now is race baiting channels. There's a lot of race baiting going on. So it's the race stuff is heating up. So that's another reason why people are leaving. Our people are leaving. Community support. They need some community support. Other countries, their communities thrive because they help each other. We don't do that in the U.S. We don't. The communities are everybody's for themselves. It's like doggy dog. Cheaper living expenses. Your dollar goes a lot further in other places, in other countries. Of course, reparations. My favorite, Africa, they're giving free land and citizenship. So anyway, in Romans 8:15, for ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. So cry out to the Most High for guidance, okay? You know, if you've been reading your Bible, then you should know that the children of Jacob are pilgrims. As a nation, our people have never stayed more than 100 to 200 years in one spot. This is the last captivity, and it's been the longest we've ever stayed in captivity. So we are way, way overdue to be moving on. Our great-grandfather Jacob says in Genesis 47:9, my travels have lasted 130 years. Jacob replied, my years have been few and hard, and they have not matched the years of the travels of my fathers. So our people are travelers. We don't sit still, not for long. We can also read in Psalms 39:12, Hear my prayer, O Yahuwah, and give ear to my cry for help. Do not be deaf to my weeping, for I am a foreigner dwelling with you, a stranger like all my fathers. So we may have to flee. Abraham had to flee. So this is not new to us. Don't let it be a hindrance and that you love Babylon so much that you miss the call from the Most High to flee when it's time to flee. If you read the book of Judges to see how many times Yashar'al has been in and out of captivity, you'll know that, we are travelers. We've traveled for years, thousands and thousands of years. It's in our DNA. So, you don't even have to read past Torah to see that our people, beginning with Abraham, he fled Babylon, the first Babylon, when King Nimrod in the land of Cush was chasing him. He wanted to destroy him. He wanted to delete him. He fled out of Babylon, the first Babylon. Nimrod was in hot pursuit of him. He wanted him out of here. When we fled from Pharaoh out of Egypt, we also fled from Jerusalem when the Romans came and burnt down our temple and burnt down our cities. We fled out of Spain. We fled out of Portugal. We have the spirit of pilgrimage in our DNA. If you're afraid, then we know that is not the work. That is not the work of the Most High. That is the work of the adversary. The Most High did not put the spirit of fear in us. Okay, in Romans 8:15, for ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. All praise to the Most High. Shema Israel. We all know that song. Isaiah 10:20-23. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Yashar'al and such as are escaped, there's that word, escape, of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon Yahuwah, the Kodesh one of Yashar'al, in truth. The remnant shall what? Return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto Al-Gabar. Is Al-Gabar in America? Think so. I ain't never seen no Al-Gabar. For though your people, O Yashar'al, be like the sand of the sea, only a remnant will what? Return. The destruction decree shall overflow with righteousness. For Yahuwah Sevayoth will carry out the destruction and decree in the midst of all the land. Babylon will be destroyed. You sure you want to stay? Or you want to go unto Al-Gabar? Okay. So, if you decide to ride out the storm until the final exodus into our own land, you plan on occupy. I just say we need to pray, fast, and repent and seek the Most High for guidance. Use your spirit of discernment. If you feel like you don't know what to do, pray. The Most High will send His Ruach HaKodesh, okay? And He will guide you. He will guide you, okay? Ask Yahuwah what you need to do. He will answer you. Don't get distracted with all the nonsense and folly that's going on. Stay focused. Unplug sometime from social media and learn a trade. Learn how to read a map. Get online. Do you know how to get out of your state? If you need to get out of your state on foot, do you have any maps? If you got to drive to South America, do you have any maps into South America? These are things you can learn. Get off the TV, get off the computer, get out of people's marital problems, and let's get back into line with the Most High. Prepare your house, okay? Learn to read a map, okay? Print them out. Learn a skill on YouTube. Learn how to make candles, sewing by hand. Learn how to make detergent. Learn how to make soap. These things are free. This does not cost you any money. Learn a trade. Learn how to build something. Learn how to make stuff. This is free. You can do this stuff online all day. Learn how to fix a car. You might have to get out. If you're driving somewhere, like if you're trying to escape into South America and your car broke down, do you know how to change a flat? Okay? You ladies, you know how to change a flat if your husband is hurt? You know how to change a flat? This is stuff you can learn for free. Okay? Once again, call a family meeting. Tell them your plan. Pull all your resources together. Okay, community resources, pull all the resources together. Sell off cars, old cars you're not driving, furniture, uh, all the furniture. You're not going to sit on every couch. You're not going to sleep in all those beds, and you know it. Sell off cars, furniture, sell clothes. You know, you ladies got thousands and thousands of shoes just sitting in your closet. You ain't gonna never wear them shoes. I got some. That's why I know. That's why I'm laughing. Cause I got outfits in my closet. One day I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna get in there. Sell that stuff. Sell off hats and stuff that you're not wearing. Sell off jackets and coats you're never gonna wear again. Sell off shoes and clothes that you're not gonna wear. This stuff is free. Have a yard sale. Have a garage sale. Take furniture and stuff you're not using, like old TVs, old radios, old stuff. Take it to a thrift store. They'll give you a receipt for the cost of of the estimated cost of it. When you get your income tax check, don't spend it on stuff like expensive jewelry. Sell your jewelry. Sell jewelry that you're not wearing. Sell it instead. Keep that money. Save that money. Keep your money liquid. Don't buy stocks or crypto because those things are long-term investments. If for some reason the market tanks, you're going to be wiped out. All your money's gone. They got your real money and you got fake money that's gone. You're empty-handed. You're standing there with nothing. So these are long-term investments, stocks and crypto. Just remember that. And it's based on debt and it's based on future speculations. Okay, it's not liquid. So just remember, you want to be liquid. Okay, so that stuff can wipe you out. Remember that. CDs are safe for now, but I think they make you can't, if you pull out your money before 6 months, I think they penalize you, but you get really good interest. I mean, they pay you really well on, on money. I wouldn't say put all my money in a CD either. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify, like, buy some gold, buy some silver, land, invest in yourself. That's free. Find you some piece of land somewhere. Okay. Taxes on land is like $100 a year. Sometimes taxes are like $50 a year on land. Yeah. Invest in farming equipment, livestock, seeds. Put your liquid money into tangible things. Okay. Tangible things you can barter with. Okay. Until then, invest in yourself. This is free. Do your own hair. Do your own nails. Grow your locks. Go natural. Ask a trusted coworker to carpool to work. If you have old gaming equipment or games, sell them. Stop eating out. Eat light. Cut down on this meat. This meat ain't real anyway. Expensive items, that you have sitting around, it's just going to waste. Sell it off. Instead of buying all that stuff, make a big pot of spaghetti once a week. A big pot of red beans and rice like my mama used to make. A big pot of gumbo. That pot be so big it lasts a whole month before you get to the bottom of that pot. We eat on that for weeks and weeks. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Make a big pot of chili. Everybody likes chili. Make your own bread. You don't have to have a bread maker to make bread. Make your own flat bread. Freeze it. Freeze your bread. Buy you some freezer bags and freeze a lot of the stuff. Okay. If you don't know how, it's free on YouTube. It's free on YouTube. You can make the stuff on YouTube. I make a good millet and basil bread that I make with millet, and I just grind the millet into flour, and it's really, really good. It's hearty. It's hearty bread. I make a big one too, and I like to make pizza doughs because the pizza dough that I like, or the pita bread that I like, they don't sell it anymore. So I'm learning how to make my own pizza dough. Fellas, I'm going to talk to the fellas for a second. Get rid of those sports packages. Those sports packages cost $400 and $500. That stuff is rigged anyway. Anyway, also eliminate some of those channels. Like just get one. If you're a movie person, I love movies, but have like one movie channel. Eventually, that movie is gonna come to there anyway. Stop buying movies. That movie is gonna come to that channel eventually anyway. They got free channels like Tubi, and there's a lot of free movie streaming channels that are free, and they show good movies. Okay, it's free. You might get a commercial or two, but go take a break, go to the bathroom, get you some water, and come back, or something. Or, like I said, spend some time learning how to make stuff. You ain't going to have time to watch TV if you're doing the other stuff. Okay? But eliminate those sports packages. Those are very expensive. Become cheap like your dad, or if you got a cheap auntie. My dad was cheap. My husband's cheap. So be cheap, cheap, cheap. Nothing wrong with being cheap. If you just got to buy something, go on the sale rack and buy it. They always have a section in the store where they have stuff that's, they're liquidating. Go to liquidation stores. Go to the thrift store. Go to the stockyards or the junkyards. They have a lot of stuff there that you could use, and a lot of times it's dirt cheap. Okay. Do the bare minimum. Save, save, save. Get in a save mode. Get in that mode. Okay. These things are free. Looking for land is free. You may find a good deal. Sometimes the owner will owner finance you. Like if you're short of cash, they'll owner finance you the rest. Of course, I say have a real estate agent with you to make sure, that you go through a title company to make sure the title on the land is free and clear. Talk to your closest friends. Open up your mouth. Talk. Tell them what you're trying to do. I wouldn't promote this online. I wouldn't tell nobody online what I'm doing. I'd keep, a close circle. Only a few would know what you're doing, like in your family and your close friends. But, they're not going to laugh at you when you approach them with this because everybody's feeling the pain, okay? This economy is terrible right now. So think like a team or a community and move in silence. Don't tell everybody what you're doing. Don't tell nobody your plans. Don't get on social media. Don't tell your Facebook friends. No, they're your Facebook friends. I know you love them and everything, but you don't know them. Okay. I'm just saying. So you want people that you know and know you to know your plan. Okay. Or to know what you're planning. Hold these cards close to your heart, family. Have a very, very tight circle for your plan B plans. But please just have a plan B, because you won't have time when the crap, you won't have time to plan when the crap hits the fan. I just rhyme. Yeah, I just rhyme. You won't have time to plan when your crap hits the fan. I'm not trying to rhyme, but anyway, hold on, Yashar'al. There is about to be a wealth transfer. Um, it is about to be a wealth transfer. It's not going to be worthless paper money with deceased colonizer faces on them with white wigs. It's not going to be that type of wealth transfer. The wealth transfer is going to be resources like gold, silver, land, water, rivers, lakes, waterfalls, wells, bauxite, diamonds, rubies, amethysts, precious stones, precious metals, all that good stuff. The nations don't have the wealth it will take to make us whole, but they do hold our resources. This is the great substance that the Most High was speaking of in Genesis 15:13. Hallelujah. Okay, hallelujah. We will get our kingdom back. We will get it back. Taking it back. I just released another single called Taking It Back. We will be taking our resources back. All praises to the Most High Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Okay. Be bold in these last days, family. Be a bold pilgrim. Um, in whom we have, in Ephesians 3:12, it says, in whom we have boldness and access with confidence by faith of him. And in Philippians 1:20, according to my earnest expectation and my hope that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness, as always, so now also Yahusha shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Yahuwah, thy Eloah, is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. That's Joshua 1:9. In Psalms 27:1, it says, the Most High is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Yahuwah is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? And in Isaiah 41:10, it says, fear not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy Eloah. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with my right hand of my righteousness. All praise to the Most High. In conclusion, in conclusion, I'm going to give you my final thoughts. I hope this music isn't too loud, but I'm going to say this. Fear is often contagious, but it doesn't have to define your journey. When making life changes and decisions such as relocation, homesteading, or pursuing self-sufficiency, it's important to trust what the Most High is leading you to do. Trust in Yah, not in man. That's Psalms 118 and 8. Do your own research. Listen to what Yahuwah has put in your spirit and your vision. Others may try to project their anxieties or doubts onto you, but your path is not their path. The chosen of Yah are unique. You're chosen. And you're unique. When the Most High chooses a servant, you are unique. You're not just the everyday run-the-mill person, okay? Embrace courage, seek wisdom, and move forward confidently, knowing that your choices are from the Most High. Don't let someone else's fear be yours. All praises to the Most High Yahuwah and glory to Hamashiach Yahusha, our King. Okay? Just don't let someone else's fear be your stronghold. If that's their stronghold, don't let it become yours. Just trust in the Most High. Okay? There's only going to be a remnant, y'all. It's only going to be a remnant. Everybody's lamp ain't lit. Okay? Protect yourself and your family. There's only going to be a remnant that get the call to do this. Okay? So just hang on, family. Time is winding down. And just remember this. The Most High did not put you in this time in this point in time in the history of the world if he didn't know that you can handle this, and that if he's calling you out, he's setting you apart from the set apart, and he's got a mission for you to save your household. Listen to what the Ruach HaKodesh is telling you. That's him. That's the Most High speaking to you. Okay? Love y'all. All praise to the Most High. I'm going to be giving an update on what happens in Africa at the forum in Ghana, in the land of Judah, the kingdom of Judah, Negro land. I'll be giving you the updates on what's going on as soon as I hear what's happening. I wish I could be there. I just pray the Most High makes a way for me to go to that. I would love to be there for that, but we don't know. I don't know how that'll go. But anyway, love y'all. All praises to the Most High Yahuwah, and glory to our Hamashiach Yahusha, our King.